Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Reviewing Comics with me, your host, Alexander Turbin. Today we're going to be going over Superman All-Star by #1 by Grant Morrison and Frank Quietley. Since it is Superman week, the new movie is coming out, and hopefully I'll be able to see it this weekend, and we can have a little bit of a spoiler review for you, because as you guys may know, I can't do reviews without spoiling them. But before we get into that, I'd like to show you some of my own work. This is Random Access. Once I get this correctly done. This is Random Access. It's a full-size, full-color comic book that I'm creating every month. And it's just basically all kinds of different rotating stories with rotating characters and stuff like that. I'm turning it into more of an anthology. Usually it's 10 pages by me, and then a couple backup stories by other artists like Paul Corjohn or Chris Knox or whatever. This latest issue has a fantastic cover by Jeff Bartrand. Got to make sure I get his name right. He's an awesome artist. And also backup stories by Paul Corjohn and Jeremy Duncan. Jeremy does some fantastic work. It is really fantastic. I love this stuff. And but this cover is just crazy. It's just amazing. I love it. It's this heavy metal power comics just thing going on. So you can pick these up at patreon.com/Alexander Turbin. And it's $3 a month for all of these pages and all of this storyline and everything. Next month is not going to be color. It's going to be black and white. But it's going to have even more pages. Hopefully, if I can get all of the artists lined up and get it all filled up. That's part of the challenge to having an anthology, is getting all of the artists lined up and doing all of the pages that I need done. So let's hope that happens. You can also get these at alexanderturbin.com, or you can message me at alexturbin0441 at Instagram, or alexturbin0441 at yahoo.com, which is my email. Or you can message me here. So if you're an artist and you'd like to be in Random Access, please drop me a line. There's space for everybody. So Superman All-Star #1 from 2006 is by Grant Morrison. I don't think I have reviewed anything by Grant Morrison yet. I'm trying to think. He's one of my favorite writers. He's like top 5, top 10. He's definitely top 10. I don't know if he cracks the top 5. Let's see. That would be Alan Moore, Chris Claremont, Frank Miller, Garth Ennis. Do I like Garth Ennis more than Grant Morrison? Oof, I don't know. Anyway, I might have to make my list of top 10 favorite writers. We did go over Frank Quietley's art when we compared him with I can't remember who we did the poll with, but that was fun. He won whoever he went against, and he is a fantastic artist. He's beautiful. It's one of the things. A lot of artists, they come up in comic books and then their style kind of evolves and changes and stuff like that. But his really kind of stayed the same. I always thought he was a little bit like Arthur Adams in his cartoony style. But now, then when I look at it now, I really kind of don't see that. I think that was maybe my own my own kind of whatever, my own personality being shown onto him. He is more of a I don't know. There is a little bit of Arthur Adams quirky cartooniness to his art, but it's there's also a little bit of other stuff. So let's jump right into this. I'm probably not going to go back and look at the writing and look at the art. I'll probably stop and do that as I see something I really love. But I'm going to give it a 10 already. It's one of the best comics ever. And no, I can't give it a 10. I can't give it a 10. I'm going to give it a 9. Grant Morrison has done so many fantastic things, from Invisibles to Animal Man to Doom Patrol to so many fantastic works that I can't give this a 10. And it's not equal to those works. It is close. And the art is fantastic. The art's fantastic. The writing's fantastic. It's just not a 10. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's because it's a Superman story, but no, I would give Alan Moore his Superman stories 10s. It doesn't break any kind of molds. It comes close. There's a lot of interesting, different ideas in this, and it comes close to breaking the mold, but it just doesn't quite do that. And so I'm gonna have to give it a 10, maybe a 9, maybe 9.5, because everything else is such fantastic. So let's get into this. It shows Doom Planet, Desperate Scientists, Last Hope, Kindly Couple. The writing for that, there's not a lot there, obviously. But sometimes, I would say most times, I would say almost always, it's not the huge amounts of dialogue. It's not the huge amounts of narration. It's it's the quiet times. It's the build up. It's the knowing when to do what with writing and comics. Like some of my favorite scenes in movies are either no narration, no dialogue, or anything. Like one of my favorite scenes in Conan is in the very beginning when Conan's mom gets killed by Thulsa Doom, and there's no talking. She's just him looking at her. She knows what's going to happen, and it's just an amazing scene. And there's no talking. So writing is not always about lots of complex stuff. I think Todd McFarlane had learned that with Spawn, that just writing down a whole bunch of stuff doesn't mean it's good. So it's not quality, it's not quantity, it's definitely quantity. Sometimes they both go together, but sometimes they don't. But this is fantastic. Quietley's doing the fantastic job of showing the planet, showing the scientists, and showing it's just awesome. The one of the great things is the colorist really is a huge part of this book. Jamie Grant, is that the colorist? It must be, because the colors in this book are fantastic, and they make up a lot of the fantastic artwork in this. If you took if you took Frank Quitely's art out of this, or you took the color out, there's not really a whole lot there. It's a lot of blank space in the backgrounds. But with the color, it just meshes together. And there's nothing wrong with that. The best comic books mesh visuals and storytelling. So it's really great. And then boom, it shows this shot. Superman coming out of nowhere. There's no issue, what date, or anything like that. There's no big logo across the sky. There's just the image, double page spread, nothing blocking it, nothing deterring it. It is just a fantastic double page spread. Again, this is all color. So Frank Quitely has this ink drawing, and it's even then his color, his blue and the white and the red and the fade and the showing of the sun, because it's the sun. It's so much yellow, so much vibrant yellow, that it's the sun, and it's just so much saturation of blending colors, and it's really fantastic. And his pose, but that's the thing. I'm not going to discount the fantastic pose. It could have been, he could have gone with so many things. He could have gone with his arms stretched out and fists or hands, and it could have been this huge 3-dimensional quality thing, and it could have just the whole page could have been shown as Superman. But he chose not to do that. And I like that. It's one of the things that I was saying. It's a quiet moment. This is, you can hear the sun roaring, as Superman is flying by. But, it doesn't need that super hyperbolic foreshortening that a lot of people would put in. I probably would have put in that massive amount of foreshortenings. You've got to have a lot of confidence in your art. You got to have a lot of confidence in the story. You got to have a lot of confidence in what you're doing. And it just shows that this is Frank Quitely's great masterpiece, because he's doing things that require a lot of confidence and subtlety, confidence and subtleties. And then it jumps into the storyline. There's some sort of spaceship. They're trying to map the sun, which is kind of unheard of. Grant Morrison, one of the fantastic things he does is he introduces so much modern technology into his comic books. Modern technology, modern um, philosophical things. He just introduces all of these things into his comic books. Like, I had never heard of nanotechnology until I believe he started talking about it in Doom Patrol. So he's probably, I bet he has or had, I don't know if he does still because it's a digital age. Maybe there's a modern website for science. Oh, what was that magazine that came in the mail every month? Science and Technology, or Science and something, Popular Mechanics, where they would have the most modern scientific breakthroughs. I bet he had a subscription to that, and he was trying to insert all of these modern thoughts and stuff into his comic books and into his comic storylines. And I really truly appreciate that stuff because it's things I'd never heard of, and it's almost always something that's a real thing. It's not something that he just pulls out of the universe. There is a great place in science fiction and comic books, especially because there's so many things that have come out of comic books that have shown to be real and like a real thing. Like VR was a real thing in comic books a long before it was in reality. And there's just so many scientific breakthroughs in science that started as not only science fiction, but science fiction in comic books, because the imagination is where science starts. It's these characters. They're mapping the sun in their spaceship. They're heading towards the sun, trying to figure things out. But they're just some scientists, and they're talking. There's one of them that's a some sort of genetically created creature, genetically created person, and they think he's safe. It's kind of like Alien and the Cyborg, where they think they're safe with the Cyborg because he's mechanically created, but it's really somebody that's created by Lex Luthor. And later on, you find out that Lex Luthor is actually controlling this character, and he's turning into this giant monster. I'm not sure when Fringe came out, and I would bet 2006. When did Fringe come out? I think this is predates Fringe, but this feels like a very Fringe kind of thing, to do. And now that I mention it, he is very fringy like as a writer, and he either got some of his inspiration from that TV show, or I would be willing to venture a guess that the show took inspiration from him, because some of his other stuff is a little bit more like Fringe than is normal. So I would venture a guess that they took inspiration from him. Some sort of android robot, a la what was that? Tom Cruise Minority Report, just like Minority Report is showing some sort of robot who's a psychic or something. Superman is through the corona, but conditions aboard the Ray Bradbury are deteriorating. There can't be much time. So he's zipping through the sun, and he's because this creature is going to destroy the ship, and also I think gravity shields are shattering. We're falling into the sunspot of the size of a South America. So even before this creature started to turn into this massive thing that was going to destroy them, they were already in jeopardy because their ship was falling into the sun, and they wouldn't be able to withstand that. So Superman comes out of nowhere, as he always does, zipping through the sun, and then it cuts to it's Lois Lane. Superman saves first man-son mission. She's looking at her headlines, and she's saying it's one of the things that is so fantastic about Grant Morrison is his dialogue. His dialogue is so smooth, it's so buttery smooth, and it's so easy to read. You just go from page to page, panel to panel, and it's just so easy to read, and it's so like that is Lois Lane. Might not be Margot Kidder's Lois Lane, might not be some of the other Lois's Lanes, but she is Lois Lane. He takes the embodiment of the characters that he's writing, and he truly uses them to the best effect. She's already written the headline. She already knows Superman's going to save the day. They talk about that. it introduces, because this is number one, it has to introduce Lois Lane, has to introduce Jimmy Olsen, has to introduce Perry White. So they have their own little cameos as to the beginning of stuff. And like I said, the dialogue just flows so smoothly through the book. Superman rescues Sun mission. We don't know that yet, Lois. He's 93 million miles away, and I'm right here with a heart that's true. I always write the Superman headlines before they happen, Steve. If you don't know how big the sun is, go away. That just adds a little bit of fun dialogue to the whole thing. So he's not just giving information, he's giving characterization as well, which, every comic book writer, every writer in general should think about that. But I think comic book writers especially. And then it goes to, like I was talking about, virtual reality. It shows Lex Luthor. He's actually controlling the mutant or the cyborg or whatever it is, the creature, the human that turns into the creature, using virtual reality. And he was arrested. I don't know the ins and outs of DC's history. I think this is after he becomes president or something to that effect. And he was thrown in prison again, as many times. But then the government figured they wanted to use his intelligence to help them instead of having him just rot in jail. So the general is there talking to him, trying to figure some of this stuff out. And Lex Luthor, he's explaining to him that Superman isn't getting older, but he actually is. So he has to hurry up and kill Superman because there's not going to be a whole lot of chances left, which is, I don't know if this is before the Ookla the Mok song. Ookla the Mok is one of my favorite musical groups. Anybody out there that loves Ookla the Mok, let me know, because I love Ookla. They're one of my favorite groups. Top three, easily top three. And they just sing about, superheroes and comic books and video games and board games and everything I love. So how could they not be one of my favorite groups? But one of their songs is on an album that's all about supervillains. There's a song about Darth Vader. There's a song about Dr. Octopus. And there's a song about Lex Luthor killing Superman. And and in the song, they say, Lex keeps saying, you can keep putting me in prison, keep doing that over and over and over again, year after year after year. You can keep doing it and I'll still be alive. I'll still be getting out. But it just takes one time for me to win and you're dead. Which is one of the concepts that's really kind of showing off in this book, is that he's realizing he's getting older. He's got to kill Superman because that is his life's ambition, for some reason, but it is. So cuts to Superman saving the day, opening the hatch. I guess are they in suits? They're not in suits. I don't know why he opens the hatch and they don't all die, but apparently they get all of their suits on real quick, and then he grabs the monster. They go out into the sun. They close the hatch, and he uses his super breath. I can only assume it's his super breath, which, again, why does Superman have super cold breath? Like, the air that comes out of you is hot. So I don't know. If anybody really loves Superman, Joe, why did Superman blow cold breath instead of hot breath? So somebody explain that to me. I'd like to know. So he blows some cold onto him, and he shatters and blows up, and he grabs the spaceship, and he saves them. He goes down to Earth, and he's being examined by the scientist. This is the scientist that was up here trying to map the sun. So he's obviously a brilliant scientist. Although I don't know if is he a new character or is he an older character? I don't know. I've never seen him before. But again, I'm not really steeped in the Superman lore here. One of the things that I don't like is that sometimes they add a little bit too much science stuff, and if it's not believable, then it's going to kind of take me out of the realm of believability. So, like he says, you're now pushing against the equivalent of 200 quintillion tons. How on earth does he have this little thing, this little I don't know if you guys watch those videos of the press, the iron press or whatever you call it, the hydraulic press. Yeah, the hydraulic press smashing things or destroying things. I love those videos. I don't know why, but I do. And here's Superman pushing against this hydraulic press 200 quintillion tons. How much force is that, and why can this little piece of metal hold 200 press 200 quintillion tons down? And he's having a little bit of a hard time, even though he's really doing okay. He's having a little bit of a hard time holding 200 quintillion tons. Why isn't this thing just blowing up? Anyway, an aside, so let me rant. So even though I don't like that, I do love all of the other sciencey things. And I also love this rainbow coat that he has. Grant Morrison always puts these weird little facets in his books. And Frank Quietley, I'm sure they have these discussions. They go off to the pub and have a pint, and they're talking about, hey, his coat should be his coat should be rainbow colored, hey mate. I don't know. That was my Scottish accent. I'm very, very sorry that I did that. But anyway, the scientist tells Superman that it's actually killing him. The sun's radiation he absorbed too much into his skin, so he's actually going to blow up or something like that, and it's actually killing him. So they have this little discussion, and here's an aside with some of the scientists' other scientific breakthroughs. They're talking about interstellar space and sending off cryogenically created or cryogenically frozen, but mentally preparing myself. So I don't know. They're creating giants to send off into space. I don't know. It's just a weird little aside that is what Grant Morrison does. So then we go back to the Daily Planet. Superman is flying there, and Perry is obviously Clark Kent is fired in 10 seconds if he's not there. They're having some sort of meeting or something. But there's a little kid chasing after his dog. He's going to get smashed by a truck. And 3, 2, and he's there. He's super fast. He's Superman. And he saved the kid. Here. And he's a bungling Clark Kent. He's not the Man of Steel. He's not the Superman. He's just some bungling guy. And so it kind of shows this. One of the great things about Frank Quietley's art, his way of naturally moving his characters from throughout the page. It's really fantastic. And then finally we get to the credits, and it's All-Star Episode 1, written by Grant Morrison, penciled by Frank Quietley, digitally inked by Jamie Grant. Okay, he didn't do the colors. Lettered by Phil Balsman, editorial assist by Brandon Montclair. It doesn't say the colors. Written, penciled by Frank Quietley, digitally inked and colored by Jamie Grant. So he does the inks and the colors. So I'm wondering if Frank Quietley and him work together all the time. I'm going to have to go back and look at some of the stuff, the X-Men stuff and everything like that I've seen of Frank Quietley, and see if he does the inks and the colors and all of them, because it is really fantastic. The colors and the inks. Now that, and it's digital. It's digitally done at the time. That's really fantastic. Lex Luthor, he's going to be arrested. They found out about this whole scheme of his to kill the scientists and all of this other stuff that they're holding him accountable for. Epilogue, Lois and Clark. Lois has her little sidekick, Clark, carrying all of her stuff, and somebody smashes into him and yells at him and everything. And he says, "Clumsy idiot, your boyfriend's an idiot. How dare you? He is not my idiot." So that is like a Freudian slip. She does think he's her boyfriend or something. I love how they really sex Lois up. She's really sexy, and that really kind of adds a little bit of a twist to her character that hasn't been there. Grant Morrison, like I said before, he always twists things up, so he gets a little bit of a different perspective, whether it's darker or lighter or whatever. It's a different perspective on everything that he does, and it's really fantastic. So one of the things is Superman's dying. He's going through all of this stuff. So there's something he has to do, something he wants to do before he dies. He has to tell Lois that that he is Superman, and it ends with him opening his shirt and her dropping her groceries. So that is to be continued. And as you guys know, because this was turned into a movie, there's lots of really great scenes in this whole series. I can't remember how long the Grant Morrison, Frank Quietley goes, but it is fantastic. It may be one of the greatest Superman runs as far as I'm concerned. I don't really know that. Now that I'm noticing this, there's these little blue bars that kind of hinders the excitement of that. I don't know if that's supposed to be. Yeah, that's just a printing faux pas. I wonder if that's on all of them. So, I mean, it's a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. If you love Grant Morrison, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you don't, don't get it. But if you do, then do get it because it's a wonderful book. New Superman movie coming out, like I said, and I hear really good things about it, so I'm hoping it's really good, and I'm sure will be. I love James Gunn. I think everything that he's done has been fantastic. I still haven't finished the Monsters show though, so I need to finish that. And I wasn't really too impressed by the first couple of episodes, but I'm gonna continue to give it a shot. And I really love this book. Like I said, I'm giving it a 9. I probably can't give it a 10. I would say all of the books altogether might be a 10. But just this one issue just can't hit that 10 mark. It doesn't have that emotional resonance or some that little extra thing that pushes it over the top to make something a 10. It's gotta leave you with a pit in your stomach or a hollowness in your heart, and that's almost how every Alan Moore comic ends for me, because there's some sort of little twist or some sort of weird little thing, or there's some sort of character that something happens to them, that I always end up with this question mark in my head, this little twist in my brain, this little pit in my stomach, and that's what I would really love to do in comic books. But it's a fantastic read, and I'm going to go see Superman, and hopefully I have a great time, and hopefully you guys saw it and you love it too. And let me know what you guys think about Superman, what you think about Grant Morrison and Frank Quietley and all that stuff. I love to hear about it. If you're new to the channel, this is not normally what I go over. I normally go over indie comics from the 70s, 80s, 90s, or whatever. But I also like to just delve into different things. Like I said, Grant Morrison is one of my favorite writers of all time. So I'm going to go through more Grant Morrison stuff. I definitely plan on going over Invisibles #1. That is one of my favorite comic books of all time. So I'm definitely going to go through that. Also, Animal Man and, just some of his other works, the Doom Patrol and all of that stuff. I'm definitely going to go over. But there's so many comic books and there's only so many days. But if you're new to the channel, this is the kind of stuff I do. I just go over awesome comic books. And please consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell, giving me a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. And but more than that, like I always say, I love to talk about comic books and I love to converse about comic books. And so leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll always get back to you. If I don't get back to you, it means that I didn't see it. If it goes a couple weeks or whatever, just ping me and let me know. I don't know how you're going to ping me, but hopefully I'll see it. I might see it at some point later, but I'm definitely always going to leave a comment again. So thanks for watching. And today is Wednesday, so we've got Friday coming up with more awesome comics. And then we've got me and Joe. Hopefully he and I both see the Superman movie and we can kind of talk about it and go over it. So that would be fantastic. So thanks for watching and leave comments and thanks for everything. And thank you for the support for the comic books and everything. And see how many times I can say everything. Again, one final time. Thank you very much. And as always, you're part of the family. So keep on creating.